The following WCIA3 News Special is brought to you by the McDonald Group, Express Employment, Copper Creek, OSF Healthcare, and Harriet's Rents Tents Events. Now honoring parents with Celebrating Central Illinois. Here is your host, Marley Capper.
Parents are the backbone of every family. They teach you how to tie your shoes and help you make important life decisions. It's no light work. Good evening, I'm Marley Capper. Tonight we honor parents across Central Illinois who have gone above and beyond for their children and community. We'll meet a mom who had her daughter at 19 years old. She was scared and ashamed, but now she's on a path to success. One couple who wanted to have kids their entire lives, but when they weren't able to get pregnant, they adopted. And a family that has their own Wikipedia page listing them as having over 300 kids. How these U of I parents have become a mom and dad to hundreds of college students. But first, one mom who left her life and everything she knew behind for her son. Maria Serrano grew up on the south side of Chicago. When she lost someone important in her life, she needed a safe place to start over.
Happy birthday to you.
Unexpected. At home, just got off work, and I get the phone call. Raced to the hospital, and he's gone.
Maria Serrano lost her fiance to gun violence in 2021. He was at a store when he was shot.
Started shooting into the crowd where he was at, yeah.
Oh, I heard it real bad. Real bad. Yep. It was, devastating because he was so nice,
After his death, Maria wanted to leave the south side of Chicago, so she looked for jobs on OSF's website, and within a month, she was in Champaign.
I always told my dad that if I ever ran away, I was going to go straight down 57.
She needed space to grieve and wanted a better life for her son, Nathan.
I just enjoy providing for him and being there like his role model for him.
Some days, juggling motherhood and grief is hard.
It's hard, yeah, it's hard. Because you try to put on a smile so that way he doesn't feel the effect of what's going on in the outside world. And you just got to keep your head on straight and just keep going, keep pushing, basically.
But she pushes through for him.
Some days where I'm not okay, and I think he knows it, but he works with me. He's like, I tell him we're a good teamwork, yeah.
I like my mom. She always been there for me. I'll always be there for her.
Maria has been putting in the work to heal while being an amazing mom. And her dad, Augustine Serrano, says it shows.
Well, it's been great. I see her more at peace. Not so tensed up. She's going to school. She's got a good job. She looks more at ease now.
Never in a million years did she expect to be here.
Medical records, Maria speaking. It's different, but I'm where I need to be. Yeah, I look at it in a positive way.
But with her dad and son by her side, she can conquer anything in her way.
Just stay focused. Yeah, just think about him. Majority of the time, he's the one who keeps me going.
Love you.
I love you too.
Maria is going to school to become a behavioral therapist. It'll be tough, but she hopes to change people's lives for the better. She isn't the only mother who's hoping to make a difference. Melverta Wilkins has made it her life mission to encourage and empower young women. She has 2 kids, but is a mom to anyone and everyone who needs it.
Because we're going to do the...
I had my granddaughter, she came by and she was just telling me some of the things that were going on at school. And it just seemed like to me so much peer pressure.
Melverta Wilkins says her organization started with her granddaughter.
She listed out everything that she needed to do and what I need all my clothes to come from justice and and this and that, and that's gonna make me popular.
At the time, she felt that was way too much for a 2nd grader to carry.
I was trying to teach her affirmations and self-esteem and that you didn't need all of these things.
She felt like if her granddaughter was feeling this way, her friends must have felt that same pressure.
So I started meeting with them and having little slumber parties and things like that to talk to them about being self-esteem and being whole with yourself and who you are.
And just like that, Sister Girls and Friends was born.
I absolutely did not think that it would turn to this.
They started planning what the group would look like in 2013 and held their first camp the next summer.
We actually started working with the women right away.
2, 1!
Now, 10 years later, her group has served thousands of women, from teaching young girls songs to remember their worth,
I do my dance like I do.
to helping women and moms find jobs and everything in between.
A mom's job is really hard. And then it's also my responsibility for our community. Like, I literally take that as a responsibility.
The best part? Melverda's daughter Brittany and her granddaughter Kylie work alongside her, making 4 generations of women empowering women.
We've had people come live with us. Just, it's, you know, been a thing. So like her mom did the same thing, and so then she's did it and I've done it as well. So it's just being able to help and, you know, give back where you can.
And Melverda has become a mom to anyone and everyone in the community who needs it.
I can't, you know, sit in my house and be fine knowing that there's something, you know, that I can do in the community, or there's some help, or someone needs some help, or I need to talk to someone, or I need to hug someone, you know, or, you know, something like that.
Melverda encourages parents to sign their daughters up for her program. You can find more information on our website, WCIA.com. Being a new parent comes with its challenges, but for one Rantoul mom, she never wants to let the trials and tribulations in life set her back. She hopes they launch her and her daughter forward.
It was not sleeping much at all and not having a lot of time for myself.
That's a feeling most new moms understand. But Jana Calhoun was working and going to school full-time while navigating motherhood.
I was working 3rd shift at the U of I doing dispatch at the police department.
She worked from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., would take her daughter to daycare, and then went to student teaching until 3 p.m.
And then from 3 p.m. to maybe like 5, I got a nap, and then we went to night class, and then maybe had a couple, you know, maybe an hour or 2 of sleep before having to go to work and do it all over again.
The days were long, and she was exhausted.
Hulk smash will save you.
Thank you, Hulk smash.
But she pushed through to get her education.
And she got to spend a lot of time with my classmates and my professors. And then 2 months before graduation, that was when my mom passed away.
Not only was she grieving, but she was juggling being a single mom. So she kept going, not just for her daughter, but for her mom too. Her mom fostered and adopted many children and was an inspiration to Calhoun.
I really just wanted to make my mom proud. And even though she wasn't here anymore, I knew that she was looking down on me, and she would have been my #1 cheerleader.
Her daughter Rayla became the cheerleader.
You know, every time I look at her, I see my mom all over again. And I feel like everything happened the way that it should have happened to keep me going.
Now she's a teacher at Rantoul High School and is the girls' JV basketball coach.
Those are my girls, those are my babies.
And being a mom extends far beyond her home. She pours herself into her students and athletes.
You know, a lot of the students, whether people realize it or not, they may go home and they don't get that.
So she hopes to give that love to them just like her mom did for so many foster kids.
I hope it inspires her to share the love that I pour into her the same way that I hope to share the love that my mom poured into me. Where's it go? Yep, can you get it?
I can't.
You need help? Don't say you can't, you just need help, right? There you go. Okay. And I want her to know that she can do whatever and to not give up when things get hard.
Calhoun was awarded the Backbone of the Black Home Award this year by Not On My Watch. She wasn't expecting it and didn't even know that anybody saw her hard work. She says it goes to show you that you never know when someone's watching and to always try to set a good example. One Champaign County mom was a teen mom and was scared for what life would look like. Now she's a college graduate and has a bright future. She credits her mentors in Young Lives for getting her there. Meet Shanovia Netter Bailey.
I still was drinking. I was partying hard. I didn't have a care. I had nothing.
Shanovia Netter Bailey's life changed in 2014 after her second semester at Parkland College.
So I just turned 19 in December, and like that March I found out. I made it through the whole first trimester and didn't know.
She was pregnant and dropped out of school.
Because in my mind, I only had a short amount of time to get ready for a baby, and I needed to work.
She felt looked down upon, shamed, and wasn't sure what her life would look like.
Oh, I was scared.
Then she got invited to Young Lives by a coworker.
I'm about 7 months pregnant at the time. And she's like, you want to go to Young Lives? I'm like, no, can you stop asking me? And then she said, they have food. And so I'm like, okay, yeah.
That yes changed the trajectory of her life.
We played games. I got to meet other girls, young moms, like who either had babies or were pregnant just like me.
For the first time, instead of feeling judged for being a young mom,
we were able to look at parenting like the joy or like the happiness that it brought.
she felt loved, cherished, and worthy.
And so I wasn't ashamed to be a mom when I came to Young Life.
Because mentors poured into her, she started pouring into other young moms.
Young Life showed me, even during camp, that things about myself that I didn't know I had. Like, I didn't know I had real leadership skills. I went from being a girl to being a leader.
Eventually, she gained the courage to go back to school full time. The journey was hard, but she had her Young Lives leaders every step of the way, and her daughter Shania.
She went to everything. If I had a meeting, she would even go to class with me. So if they didn't have school and we had school, oh, she was going to class.
And now Shanovia is 28. She's an Eastern Illinois grad.
Shanovia S. Netter Bailey.
And is ready for the next chapter of her life as a special educations teacher. And she'll always carry with her the love and faith Young Lives instilled into her, because it helped shape her daughter too.
Be my own self, do my best, and don't be a follower.
Shanovia wants to move to Arlington, Texas and get involved with Young Lives there. She knows the power the youth group has and hopes you'll support Champaign County Young Lives. Right now, they're fundraising for summer camp. You can find out how to support them on our website. There's no doubt parenting can be tough. It's why Gateway Family Services in Potomac started offering free classes for caregivers last summer. They say they have a huge waiting list for therapy services, and these classes can help alleviate some of that need. Parents learn your child's love language, how to manage stress, and teach grandparents how to parent grandchildren.
We were able to take a deep dive into what's going on with families and figure out strategies that, kind of think outside the box. And maybe a family's not in need of intensive therapy, but they're still struggling, or they need, they have questions on what to do as far as parenting, and these classes are designed to address those things.
They offer classes in person and online. They want to start offering them in other communities as well. It's an organization to help foster families where one woman has a shop if you're in need of supplies. Plus this.
There are so many kids that need homes.
After several miscarriages, one couple went to the adoption route to build a family. It wasn't their plan at first, but why they say they're thankful for the chance to do so.
Celebrating Central Illinois continues honoring parents.
A family can come together in many ways. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Hear the story of a couple in Mattoon who started building their family years before it all came together. High school sweethearts Heidi and Steven Saylor have been together for 17 years. And from the beginning, family was at the forefront.
I used to jokingly tell my husband that I wanted 6 kids. And this was like when we were like 17, 18 years old. I was like, yeah, we're going to have 6 kids one day. That's just what I want.
But their journey to parenthood looked a lot different than they had originally planned.
Within our first year or two of marriage, we had a couple miscarriages, actually.
Those losses led them to fertility doctors, where again, things didn't go their way.
When I hit about, I think it was 27, that was when we decided, okay, we've gone through 3 different fertility doctors, all in different states. We are getting very good care, and it still wasn't happening. I was like, we just kind of took a little bit of a mourning period. I would say, like, it was like closing the chapter. Like, okay, where do we go from here?
It didn't take long for an answer. It was 2017, and Heidi and Steven had started to consider fostering when a coworker asked them if they'd be interested in taking on 2 kids.
And she was like, oh, well, can I just give this number to a caseworker that I know? I was like, I guess, like, if they need somebody, whatever. I didn't think anything of it.
2 weeks later, the caseworker called.
She's like, would you like to meet them? I'm like, I guess. Like, it was very surreal.
Heidi and Steven went on to meet Cash and Mason, 2 brothers who quickly stole the Saylors' hearts.
We got in the car and I looked at Steven and I was like, Steven, like, these are my kids, like, forever. Like, I don't even care. Like, I was like, I don't care what the court says. I don't care. Like, I just knew, like, I just had a peace about me, like, that God had brought them into my life for a reason and that they would be mine and that I would do anything to protect them. And here we are.
The couple has fostered a total of 9 kids. And in 2019, they were able to start the adoption process for Cash and Mason. The couple still wants to foster, something they'll always hope other families will consider.
There are so many kids that need homes, and the kids themselves aren't the reason that they're in care.
And while the Saylors' journey to parenthood wasn't the one they were originally expecting, they wouldn't change a thing, because it led them to these 2 and all the other kids they've helped along the way.
God had better plans than I did anyways.
The pandemic slowed down the couple's adoptions plans for Cash and Mason, but it was all made official just a couple of months ago. Having a support system is crucial for foster families. That's why one Mattoon woman started Hannah's Hope Foster Closet. Any family taking in a child can call if they need clothes or other personal care items at a moment's notice. Jessica Stone is a foster mom herself, so she wants to give back and encourage families who are doing the same.
There's a huge need, especially right now with a lot of kids coming into care, whether it be short-term, long-term, we never know. Because reunification is always the goal for them to get back with their parents. And right now we have a lot of kids in care with not a lot of beds open.
Stone runs special collections during the holidays and is currently holding a back-to-school collection. She hopes to gather 50 backpacks and 50 pairs of tennis shoes for foster kids throughout the area. Losing your newborn is an indescribable feeling.
Pure heartbreak, just it's like a knife in your gut.
How one couple took their loss and found others who have gone through the same thing. A mother carries her child for 9 months, but if she loses that baby at any point in the pregnancy, it can be devastating. One Villa Grove family is using their infant loss journey to help others. This is what having a newborn normally looks like. Everyone together, admiring the new baby mom and dad bring home.
7 pounds, 9 ounces.
But 3 years ago, that wasn't the case for Brianna and Austin Dobbs.
Ivy was stillborn due to a cord accident. I had complications during my pregnancy, and at 36 weeks, we found out she had passed.
We were totally blindsided by it.
Brianna says they were lost and numb.
Pure heartbreak, just it's like a knife in your gut.
Having to come home to an empty room they had set up for their daughter Ivy.
Had a room full, the crib built, the everything, and went home and just kind of were like, what's next?
After losing Ivy, she got involved with Empty Arms, a support group for infant loss.
You can meet women that have lost their baby at 6, 7, 8 weeks. You can meet women that lost their baby at 36 weeks.
But the fear of reliving another loss was tough, especially when Brianna found out she was pregnant with her rainbow baby.
That pregnancy was really, really hard for me mentally. It was a lot of not believing what the doctors say, even if they tell me that everything is okay.
In her mind, it would only be okay when her daughter got to come home.
And I actually ended up being induced a little bit early due to the anxiety that I was having.
Valerie came home happy and healthy, and now they're balancing being a family of 6.
It definitely made us stronger, and that's one of the biggest things I take away from it is how we've grown from it and really made us become better parents.
Their story has opened up a lot of doors for them to help other families going through the same thing.
Ivy's library is available to families experiencing loss in the hospital.
Brianna says when Ivy was born, they sang songs, took pictures, and talked to her. But they didn't think about reading the books that were bought for her. So Ivy's library was born.
They can pick out whatever book speaks to them. They can share that gift of reading with their baby, and then they can take it home and have that memorabilia to remember their baby with.
For now, the Dobbs are adjusting to newborn life and continuing to find ways they can include Ivy in their everyday parenting.
I like to say that I'm her mother and I just mother in a different way.
Brianna says one of the best things that you can do to help a mom who's dealing with infant loss is to just say sorry. She says don't tell them they can have another baby or that it was just however many weeks old. She says just support them and show them love. The Dobbs want every family to know that they're not alone and to reach out for help. Empty Arms hosts meetings the first Thursday of every month from 6 to 7:30 at the Windsor Road Christian Church in Champaign in the Fireside Room. The U of I band director's children were born into the Illini Nation. They didn't know it then, but they would share their parents with thousands of U of I students. Most people have an adult they look up to, whether it's a parent, guardian, or teacher, maybe even someone you would consider a second parent. And Barry Hauser has an entire section of students who call him Dad. This chant is heard at almost every event the Marching Illini perform at.
I'd never know how to react to that.
Barry Hauser is the definition of 3 in 1. He's the U of I band director, a husband.
We like to tell people that we met at band camp. they get a laugh out of that.
And a dad to many. According to a wiki page made by his students, 375 kids to be exact.
I'm just like, okay, this is a little out of control, but
But it's a role he takes seriously.
it's kind of one of those things to where if I can be a positive figure for them, that means a lot, means a whole lot.
He says mentoring thousands of students has helped him be a better parent to his own children.
To adapt and understand some of the challenges that my own students have, seeing a little bit of what my own kids will be facing or maybe currently facing now.
Being a band director and a parent can be hard to juggle. Thankfully, he says he has an amazing wife, Abby, to support him.
Got a great family that's very supportive and understanding most of the time. When there's things that pop up, that gets really difficult.
And just like music, parenting is a balancing act.
I spaced them out really good.
You can't have a band of all flutes. You need several instruments working together to create harmony.
All the way That whole phrase of it takes a village to raise a child, and a family is definitely true.
And they find the right tune by switching on and off. When Barry is busy with band,
Abby really keeps the routine in the household going.
Abby is the section leader. And when Abby is busy running their family band camp, Barry can be the squad leader.
Oh, around the mold! There's a lot of components that
Way to go.
Go on to making the daily grind and having a great childhood.
But the Housers are a team. And at the end of the day, everything they do is for their kids.
I want to be there for them and be their hero at the end of the day.
The family moments, they're not always going to be there. Kids are going to grow up, people are going to age, and it's just a really important factor to remember the priorities in life and what really is important.
The Hauser kids were born into the U of I family. Abby was pregnant with their daughter when Barry started, so their family supports Dad and bleeds orange and blue. And you can add me to the list of their pseudo kids. Well, that wraps up this June edition of Celebrating Central Illinois. Thank you to all the families who welcomed me into your homes. I enjoyed telling your stories. We'll see you next month. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.
This has been Celebrating Central Illinois, honoring parents. Brought to you by the McDonald Group, Express Employment, Copper Creek, OSF Healthcare, and Harriet's Rents Tents Events.